We're back here at the Winghaven Nature Preserve, and we're going to investigate an account of 3 witches practicing witchcraft back here and possibly screwing up and releasing a demonic entity. All right, we're going to do a quick overview of the history of the place, and then we'll go right into our investigation.
Welcome to X for the Unknown, where we delve into the mysteries and legends that haunt the places many fear to tread. Today, we journey to the enigmatic Winghaven Nature Preserve, a site steeped in lore and shadowed by Angola's notorious past. Once upon a time, Angola was a town known for its temptations, riddled with brothels and bars, a place so entwined with vice that missionary Alman Martin once proclaimed it Satan's seat. Within this tumultuous history, 3 influential women, Abby Kelly Foster, Mrs. Griffin, and Mrs. Seymour, as documented in Hoosier Faiths, emerged, challenging the norms and stirring whispers of witchcraft. These women, notorious for eschewing traditional faiths, were said to possess otherworldly powers. They weren't just skeptics. Some believed they were witches capable of miraculous feats. Tales tell of their rituals conducted at the very heart of Winghaven Nature Preserve, where a demon was rumored to be unleashed, a presence still said to inhabit the preserve's stream. Even today, locals and visitors alike report eerie occurrences. Vehicles mysteriously malfunction with electrical issues and inexplicable flat tires. But the most chilling stories describe an ominous influence emanating from the stream, instigating dark thoughts within those who draw near. As we venture into Winghaven, we do so with a deep respect for its haunted history. Join us as we seek the truth behind the whispers and uncover the secrets of this haunted sanctuary. Will we encounter the demons of Angola's past? Or are they simply shadows, remnants of a legend long told? Stay with us to find out.
Winghaven is beautiful, but yet you have just a very, very heavy feeling. You really feel something back here. I don't know what it is, but it's just not normal. All right, we're going to start with some call and response. Lisa is using the PS device.
Can you hear me? Anybody that used to live in this log cabin out here? It's pretty quiet. I'm looking for the witches or someone who used to live in the cabin right now. The brace, what does that mean? Who were the witches that were out here? No? Soul? Did you sell your soul? East? Paranormal. Are you still out here roaming this Witch Haven area? Delaware. Hours? Do you camp out here or live out here? You were hunted? Sure. Who hunted you? Are you one of the witches that practiced out here? I bet you that was pretty crazy, pretty exciting. By the lake, in the woods.
Did you release a demonic entity? Did you make a mistake?
Did you release a demon out here? Do you still roam these woods? You were just talking to us. Don't be shy. We just want to ask questions. Empathy? As long as you were good witches. But why are you telling me to beware? Is there something that happens in this cabin or happened? Are you still with me? What happened in this cabin?
Idea.
Idea? What was your idea? Did you practice witchcraft out here? What is your name?
Break.
Break?
Round.
Were you around in a circle?
Kansas. Washington.
Were people scared of you?
Amount. Valley.
Valley? Was there who?
There's definitely, did you practice in the valley? The big gully down here.
Really.
Did you practice in the valley, the gully down here? Am I still speaking to the same person? Am I speaking to someone that used to live in the cabin?
Hmm.
80? When did you live? Did you live in the 1980s? 80 arrived.
18.
1880?
I think it was actually 1838 is when they were
1838.
supposedly active.
Were you here
back
in 1838?
Report.
What'd you report? Is there something out here that we should not be around? Is there evil in these woods? Did you release evil?
Devil.
Devil.
Okay, it's a devil.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it
Right here.
feels very heavy back here.
It does feel heavy back here.
Yeah.
I'm standing.
50.
50.
Object.
Am I in danger?
Core.
Did you
Cover.
did you do sacrifices out here?
Reverend.
Reverend.
Well, they were really close to the church.
Believe? This is really close to the church. You want me to sit?
I mean, they were like really
Underline.
tight within the church. They were very religious.
The witches were?
They were, and I'm not sure why they started witchcraft. But they were very within the community, the
Century?
church community.
So you went to church and you practiced witchcraft?
Clutter.
What do I have to do to become a witch? It sounds fascinating.
Anything.
Anything? Well, I do that now.
Amazon.
Yep, we're by the lake. Correct.
Angle.
Wow. Okay.
Angles? You trying to tell me?
South Carolina.
You're trying to tell me where you practice at? You right by the lake, or were you up here towards the cabin? Hit. Cage. If you're one of the witches, can you come up and touch me? Tap me? Whisper in my ear? It's okay. You can touch me.
Usually.
Did you put a curse on this community?
Shadow.
Shadows.
Better.
Did you put a curse on this town?
No good.
Notice? You put a notice? Did you give them notice? Something bad might happen?
It's a really loud airplane.
You said good twice. Were you good witches? Part of the church and just were trying to do good things? You told me to set, so I'm going to set. Oh, so were you good witches? You didn't put a curse on anything?
Gentle.
You were gentle. So the Mama
Trick.
trick. Are you tricking me?
Observe.
I am observing. So why don't you come up and touch me or sit beside me? Phantom? So were you tricking me by saying you're a good witch? Is anyone here that lived in the cabin?
No.
Indian. Indians lived out here?
Anna.
I would imagine with the geography, I bet there were some Indians active back in
Oh yeah, I bet
way back in the day.
I mean, Angola had tons of Indians, Pokagon and yeah.
Way back in the day, well, in the spring, there's actually a lot of water that runs through this gully, and then of course it leads to the lake down there.
Come touch me.
And they said that the witches use the water source. There's a belief that water actually can be a portal for spirits and even, unfortunately, demonic entities. Lisa is messing with the XLS camera. They're wonderful when they work, but just like anything, they're temperamental and sometimes complicated. That do it? All right, we're going to continue our call and response. We're going to try some EVPs, and I'm just going to ask some questions. Hopefully we'll get some answers to what happened back here and what might be going on. Okay, there were 3 ladies that would practice witchcraft back here by the last names of Mrs. Griffin, Mrs. Seymour, and Mrs. Foster. Now I will ask some questions and see if we get any responses. Is there anyone back here still in these woods? Is Mrs. Seymour here? Is Mrs. Griffin here? Is Mrs. Foster here? Are all 3 of you here? All right, we're going to play this back. Is there anyone back here still in these woods? Is Mrs. Seymour here? Is Mrs. Griffin here? Is Mrs. Foster here? Are all 3 of you here? What was that?
I don't know. That was at the end of that one.
That was, it sounded like
This is like clicking.
clicking or branches snapping.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That was
There's
weird.
nobody out here.
No, I didn't hear that.
And that wouldn't have been that's a big snap.
That was pretty
Not
strange.
like a little tiny squirrel wouldn't do that.
No, it was like someone snapping
Right,
sticks.
like coming up or coming behind.
A little bit, maybe walking through.
So
Yeah.
let's ask a couple more questions.
Okay.
Let me ask.
Now, last year, I had a very close friend of mine that was murdered. And when they caught the person who killed him, he said, the witches made me do it. And that's on record. Were you responsible for that? Do you try to control people? Do you use a demon to do your bidding? Okay, we'll try that again. Now, last year, I had a very close friend of mine that was murdered. And when they caught the person who killed him, he said, the witches made me do it. And that's on record. Were you responsible for that? Do you try to control people? Do you use a demon to do your bidding? Do your bidding? Do you use a demon? I'll go before that. Do you use a demon?
He's trying to go back to that one and had some kind of response.
Do you? There we go. Do you try to control people?
Sometimes.
I heard a whisper.
I did too at the end.
Did you?
I thought I heard sometimes in the middle.
There is something. Wow. That was real interesting. We'll have to really look into that piece right there. I definitely heard a whisper.
What about the last question? Anything on that?
No.
You didn't go through it all the way?
It ended.
Oh.
That was really odd.
I thought in the middle I heard a whisper sometimes, and then I heard something at the end.
There was something. There's something on that. So we'll analyze that more when we get back. It's hard to. There's birds chirping. It's a little harder to hear out here. So possibly on the computer we can clean that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Is there some? I'm going to let you ask a couple questions here. Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
Was that someone sneaking up behind us or walking behind us that made that clicking of the tree sound, of the limbs? How long have you lived here? When were you born? Are you evil?
Did you become evil?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's play that back.
I dropped the camera.
Was that someone sneaking up behind us or walking behind us that made that clicking of the tree sound, of the limbs? How long have you lived here? When were you born?
I got more.
Mm-hmm.
Are you evil?
Did you become evil? There's something. This is a quick. I couldn't make it out.
Try not to
Don't
kill myself.
fall in the bumpus.
My son Chase was looking at this while we were doing an EVP, and he said it told him to go to the door, good evening, and 44 years. Is there anybody up here by this area of the cabin? Do you like this cabin here?
A beautiful, creepy cabin.
This creepy cabin. We heard some things on the recorder when we asked you some questions. But but couldn't quite make it out. Can you choose any words from here to help clarify what we were trying to find out? He said his best friend was killed a year or so ago, and the guy who did it said the witches made me do it. Is he talking about you? Are you still with us? Why did you choose these woods out of all the woods around here? All the lakes. There's 101 lakes, and you chose this one. Is there something special? When I first started this, before we started the camera, you said vortex. Is there a vortex here?
You see, that's why they chose the spot, because of the lake and the stream that goes through it.
It said vortex when I first asked a couple questions while you were setting up, but I think they're gone. I'm not getting any responses.
Other than the whisper, we definitely got a whisper.
In the middle, I thought it said sometimes. I'm going to get down here. And then I heard the whisper, but I think we debunked the clicking in the background.
It might have been.
Because there was big squirrels up at the top. Yeah, there? Yeah, up at the top. So they agree. Squirrels up at the top.
Squirrels undoing it. Okay.
It says there.
There.
So.
All right.
So where did you practice that? Just by the lake? I'm going to travel down the path a little bit.
They're going to walk down the trail with the PS device and see if they can get anything. And like I said earlier, something horrible happened to my friend. We grew up together. We were really close in school. He was he moved away. He was back in the area. He was studying to become a pastor in the area. And he befriended a young man that was very troubled, a drug addict. And out of nowhere, this one day, he was sitting in his living room, and that young man came in and shot him 3 times, ending his life, unfortunately. When they finally caught up to this young man, they questioned him and asked him why he did it. And he said he liked the person. He liked him a lot. And he did not know why he did it, other than he said the witches made him do it. And witches plural, not witch, but witches. And that's actually in the police report. So, are these witches still cursing the area? Are they making people do things? We don't know. Of course, like any area, we've had our share of murders and unsolved murders. So who knows? But all I know is every time I come back here, it's just the feeling we get. And we got a few things. Definitely going to check that whisper out. That was a very defined whisper. I know it says something. We're going to have to amplify it a little bit. And like Lisa said, I think the sticks, they were right behind me, though, the one noise where they were breaking. But we did hear some sticks falling, or little branches from the trees, just by squirrels running around. So maybe that's it. But I cannot explain the whispers that we got. So we'll probably come back again, but this is it's a very beautiful, supposedly haunted location. And if you're ever up in this area, definitely check it out. Winghaven Nature Preserve.